What's new in luxury fashion? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celesta. We talk about all things luxury shopping and handbags. If you love those things, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do post videos every week. Okay, so I wanted to recap a couple things that I've been seeing very new between most of the fashion houses. Wanted to showcase kind of like new trends, things I'm noticing, new styles that these brands are releasing, everything. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, I feel like the biggest one we have to talk about is Spinelli rings. I know we usually talk about handbags here, but I feel like Spinelli rings have taken over the world by a storm. Like, they are worn with the same girlies that are stacking their Cartier Love bracelet, their Justin Clew, their Van Cleef 5 motif Alhambra. Like, this has been the staple stack that I've noticed in the last maybe quarter or so. And honestly, when I first heard about people wearing this, I was like, oh, this must be a legacy brand, because they are worn with the Van Cleefs and the Cartiers, and I genuinely thought this was a legacy brand. Turns out they've only been around for the last 15 years. They started in 2010 in LA. So they really haven't been around for a long time compared to Cartier, Van Cleef, Tiffany, like these fashion houses. The cheapest ring that they have that like most of the girls are like going for, they're going for this like multi-ring stacked look that retails for $290, and it is in sterling silver. However, most of the fashion girlies that are wearing this, they are not wearing it in the sterling silver. They're wearing it in gold with diamonds. So those retail for a minimum of like $4,900 upward to like $12,000 plus. I'm shocked at how popular these got in the last like couple months or so. To be honest, I don't see myself partaking in this trend. I do tend to prefer like more dainty jewelry. I want to be a bold, gold, chunky jewelry kind of girly, but I don't think I've gotten there yet. Maybe I'm behind on the trend, but I think it is really interesting to see a brand not even have as much legacy as the Cartier and Van Cleef be able to get the recognition, get to be in the same quote unquote playing field as these other brands and be worn with these other brands. Obviously, we have to talk about Coach. Coach has continued to gain in popularity as well, with the Brooklyn 28 still being one of their most popular styles. They also released the Gramercy tote, which I am kind of surprised this hasn't gotten more popular. I think this is going to be a bag that I could definitely see people taking to work. It seems like a big enough tote where you can fit your laptop. It's good for travel. It also has adjustable straps as well, which we love. They also released their version of like the Margot, like this kind of bowling bag style, doctor style bag. And they did release the Empire 28. I do feel like they have other sizes. I think it goes up to like a 40, which is like big enough for a travel bag. And then another popular style I've been seeing a lot of creators post about is the Coach Swing Zip. It is kind of this east-west style shoulder bag, dramatic strap drop. And I've seen a lot of people with this bag style it with different like charms and things like that, which I think is so cute. And of course, Coachtopia, they are doing a lot of pop-ups right now. I just went to the pop-up in New York, and I think that's here until end of April. Coachtopia has like slightly different styles. If you're looking for more fun, more color, that's kind of the route to go. Next, we have to talk about Loewe. Loewe just released their Birkin style. I think this is their flagship bag, or they're trying to make this their flagship bag the same way that Louis Vuitton has made the Capucine their flagship bag. Gucci has kind of made the bamboo handle, that one, as their flagship style bag for a couple reasons. One, it's based off of price point, and two, based off of exclusivity. Loewe price point has usually been on the more affordable end, like as low as maybe $1,500, $1,600 up to maybe $3,000 to $4,000, depending on the size and stuff like that. They did release the new Madrid style, which does, in my opinion, look a little bit similar to the Andiamo. but that's a personal opinion. They have 3 sizes right now. The small retails for $49.90, the medium retails for $5,600, and the large retails for $6,600. What makes this bag unique is that you can only buy this in select stores. I don't know right now, and I don't think enough people have tried to get it, where I don't know if you're going to be turned away if you want to get it and they have it in stock. Like, you know how at Hermes, you're like, you have to jump through all these hoops to like get a Birkin, and there's pre-spend and all of this stuff. I don't think it's at that level, but you do have to go in stores to buy this bag, just like how you have to go in stores to buy the Louis Vuitton Capucine at the store. I do really like this bag for a couple reasons. You can wear it as a shoulder bag, as a crossbody, and as a top handle. Just looking at the pictures alone, I feel like I can tell the quality of the leather. It seems so buttery and smooth, and just a very luxurious look and feel to it. I could see it getting scratched and worn over time, but that might also add to the look of the bag if that's the vibe you're going for. I do really like that this bag has a zipper closure as well, so if you're looking for that extra security, and this bag has feet. We all know that East-West style bags have been very popular recently. It's kind of this like dramatic handle, longer, more wide bags, and they're usually in a shoulder bag version. And we saw this with Loewe, we saw this with Miu Miu, we saw this with Freya, and Louis Vuitton is kind of the next to hop on this trend. They released a speedy cargo vibe. It is essentially a speedy stretched out horizontally with a dramatic shoulder strap look. And it's fine. In my opinion, this bag is $3,700. And when I'm looking at other brands that have already released this, I don't need to spend $3,700 to get an East-West style bag with this dramatic shoulder strap. I feel like in general, this is a very trendy style. I think we're gonna look back in a couple years and be like, oh wow, that was interesting. I'm not sure why we did that. And with Louis Vuitton, as a Louis Vuitton lover, I'm a little bit disappointed that they kind of hopped on this trend as well, because it feels like a lot of these brands are kind of just copying one another with the trends and styles and pasting their own logos on it, you know, whatever, and calling it a day. And to be honest, if I already have the Loewe or I already have the Miu Miu, I really don't need to get another East-West style bag with a dramatic handle. You know, there's only so many use cases for the same style bag. However, we do have to keep talking about Louis Vuitton because they did release the Louis Vuitton Soft Speedy 30. If I've ever seen a money grab, this is that, okay? And I understand LVMH is a greedy brand and, you know, but like this was just so lazy. You essentially have the Speedy 30. I'm sure there's, you know, improvements on the inside or whatever, okay? Let's just say looks only. It's a Speedy 30 with a couple bag charms and a shorter strap that retails at minimum for $3,250. The most expensive they have is $4,700. Keep in mind, this bag is still coated canvas. The men's edition of this is leather that's made to look like canvas. I had to do a double look because I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure this is canvas. And to be honest, if you already have the Speedy, you can buy an additional strap. You can get it from Louis Vuitton if you want to be official, or you can get it off of Amazon for like 20 bucks and get the same look. Not to mention, if you are looking to achieve a similar look, you can get the Speedy B 30 for $1,800. There's no reason you need to be spending over $3,200 on this style. And you guys know me, you know I love my Louis Vuitton, but this just feels very lazy. Louis Vuitton has also had a big increase in their low-key style bags. Louis Vuitton has kind of been moving away from canvas handbags, if you couldn't tell. They're trying to incorporate more leather pieces at a higher price point. And I know the sales associates are also incentivized to push these leather pieces because they get a higher commission off of leather pieces. I believe canvas, they get like 0.01% or something like that. It's like stupidly small amount for a canvas item, which is why they always push for you to get a leather piece. And they just released a couple new styles in the Lowkey line. It's essentially smooth leather, calfskin, and they threw on like a little lock on it. It does have an adjustable strap. They have a hobo style, they have a tote, which is the Cabas tote. They have the Lowkey messenger, and they also have the Lowkey shoulder bag. I will say the Lowkey shoulder bag looks pretty similar to the Celine Triomphe shoulder bag. Again, as an average consumer, I'm in the same dilemma where if I already have the Celine Ava or the Celine Triomphe, there's not really a reason I need to get the Louis Vuitton Lowkey shoulder bag as well, you know, especially if they're the same color, you know, whatever. Like maybe if there's a different color that I can't get somewhere else that I don't have in my collection, maybe. But for the most part, there's not really a reason to justify getting two very similar shoulder bags in the same color. Gucci has released their newest bag, which I actually got to try on in stores recently. It's the new soft bit bag. They have it in the large and they also have it in a medium. The large is this big hobo style tote bag. I think it's really chic. I think it looks really fun. It's kind of like the Bottega Hop, just very effortless vibe. They also have the really big horse bit as the clasp, but unless you know it's the Gucci horse bit, you're not gonna like be like, oh, it's screaming logos. You know how some Gucci bags, they're just like screaming logos, Gucci Marmont, Gucci Canvas, like they're just screaming Gucci, and I feel like this is really, really low-key, really underrated. It fit pretty comfortably on my shoulder. I will say the bag is quite heavy, and it does come in quite a few colors as well. The large retails for $3,500, and then the medium, which is significantly smaller, is only a top handle. You can't wear it as a shoulder bag, and that retails for $2,900. Again, all leather. It comes in pretty much the same colors, and I'd be very surprised if they didn't release more colors in the coming months. I think for the price point, it's not bad, because you also have to consider, looking on their website, the Gucci Small Dionysus, which I used to have, is priced above the medium horse bit now, which is kind of crazy because that is canvas and this is all leather. So different things to consider. I think this is a really unique piece. The only thing I would have wanted to see, actually, I have two things I would have wanted to see with this bag. One, for the medium size, medium, they should rebrand that to small because it's significantly smaller. And I would like to see a size that's actually medium. I want to see a size that I could actually wear over my shoulder, but it's not as big and it's not as puffy as the large. I also feel like the medium size could do with a crossbody strap. We do see it with the Gucci Jackie and a couple other styles that they have, and I feel like that was a really big missed opportunity for them, because really the only way you can wear this bag is as a top handle or on the crook of your arm. I would love to be able to see this as a crossbody as well. The next thing we have to talk about in general, butter yellow has been everywhere this year. We're seeing it a lot more in handbags recently. Freya just released a butter yellow bag, and that's something that I'm more interested in because I know myself. I know I'm a neutral girly with like rare pops of color. However, I don't know that yellow will be my color yet. It's a little bit outside of my comfort zone still. So I feel like that's a really good way to kind of dip your toe in the water, get a bag for a couple $100s, get a taste of that color, see if you like it, see if the trend is gonna die down, because I know myself, I know I'm very easily influenced with trends. It's a great way to kind of test the waters, if you will. The Row also has one. I know Savette also recently released some butter yellow bags, and I'd be very surprised if other brands like Prada, Louis Vuitton, Loewe, things like that don't release more yellow in the coming months. And last but certainly not least, speaking about Savette, Savette released their spring summer collection, and I feel like we had to throw this in here because I was really excited about this. When I think of Savette, I think of elegant, elevated, almost like dressier occasion bags. The one that really comes to mind is the Symmetry Push Out, which I think is pretty similar to the Mini Kelly. In my head, I feel like that is a very dressy occasion style bag. You know, you can wear it as a clutch, top handle, whatever. And they did have quite a few colors in the past. They've always had black. They've always had some version of suede, brown, occasionally white, just neutral colors. And then they recently released a couple new colors for their spring collection. One was in butter yellow, which we just talked about. They also had this like coral pink in suede. And I was very much a couple months ago, honestly a couple weeks ago, like suede is a fall winter style. You couldn't catch me dead wearing suede in the summer. And then I started seeing it in these pops of color, and I'm like, actually, that's quite nice. I could get used to that. So I think that has just changed my mindset just a little bit in terms of suede bags. I think that's really fun to be able to get the texture but not feel like you're strapped to fall and winter. They also released quite a few mesh bags as well. Again, I think this is kind of your resort vibe. It's just another fun thing to add to your collection. Because, for example, if you watched my 2025 luxury wish list video, I'm pretty sure I had the Savette symmetry on my wish list. However, it's hard to justify the Savette symmetry when I just got the Louis Vuitton Capucine, pretty much top handle, same black bag. However, if I were to get it in a different color or get it in mesh, that's something that's a little bit different that I can justify adding to my collection. Okay, so that sums it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful and fun for you guys. These are just some trends that I've been noticing on social media as someone who's chronically online. Let me know which one is your favorite, or let me know if you like these style videos and if I should continue doing them. But I'll leave another video for you guys here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!